Hello, and welcome to another episode of What the Quote. I am Tajuana, your host, and I use quotes to create kindness. Here is the quote for today's episode. It is from none other than Brene Brown. Brene Brown has done a ton of books, talks, and even had a viral TED talk on shame and vulnerability. So, here is her quote. You either walk inside of your story and own it, or stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. Brene Brown. So after you hear my theme music, we're going to chit chat about worthiness.
And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness. Be a kind human. Be a kind human.
All right. So this quote about worthiness from Brene Brown, I was like, oh my gosh, it has so many delicious nuggets inside. The quote, you either walk inside your story and own it, or stand outside your story and hustle for your worthiness. It's so interesting because, I used to own a brick and mortar called Mimosa and a Masterpiece, and I owned that for 9 years. I still own it. I do a little bit of painting here and there. And I also have a full-time job. And there was a time where I thought and believed that hustling, working hard, long hours, that was this badge of honor. However, since COVID, I rebuke hustling in the name of Jesus. I don't care what it is about, work, healing, whatever it is. If hustling is involved, I do not want any parts of hustling because it is my own thought that I have hustled enough. And now I am easing into ease, grace, and elegance. That's something that I own, that I learned at IVISD, that Iyanla talks about all the time, is ease, elegance, and grace. And that is what I am surrendering to in my life in every form, in every experience, in every way that I express my life. And that includes my healing. I desire it to be filled with ease, elegance, and grace. And this quote by Brene Brown. So as I was mapping out my episodes, I was like, okay, I want to talk about worthiness again. I want to talk about worthiness because, you know, another thing that I learned from Iyanla was you teach what you learn. And I am learning my own worthiness. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. And I thought it was perfect because this first line where she talks about inside your story, like the innerness inside my thoughts, my feelings, the feelings that I have about my story and my journey. Am I honoring that? And not just honoring that, but really standing in the power of my own story, my own journey, and how that's looked, all of the hills and the valleys, the ups and the downs. Am I owning all of that and standing what I call flat-footed in it without any, oh, you should have, could have, would have. I'm not a victim of my life. I'm not. Because everything that has happened in my life has really cultivated me to be who I am today. And I don't have to feel sorry for that. I don't have to disown any piece or part of my journey because it's all beautiful. It has all created me to be who I am today. And I am learning to love me more and more each day. So this first part of Brene's quote of walking inside of your story, and not just walking in it, but owning it and being able to say it without any reservation, hesitation, or, um, really just being able to say it without being a victim. And so, one of the things that I have um, judged myself harshly in the past, one of the things that I have oftentimes kept a secret, I did not divulge um, willingly, was the fact that I have been married twice. And I am engaged to be married again. And so, I really was, there was a lot of shame around the fact that I had been married twice and divorced twice. And here is what I know to be true about those experiences now. Number one, I have absolutely nothing bad to say about any, about either of the people who I was married to. I have nothing bad to say because I learned a lot about myself in each experience. And so I don't have to regurgitate it and remember how they did this, whatever. I don't have any of that. I really talk very rarely about either one of my marriages, and not because they were horrible or beautiful or nice, whatever, but it was just a part of my past. Just like me going to school or having mimosa and a masterpiece. It's not from a place of hurt or regret. Really, it's not. I am understanding that really the only person who was judging me harshly for being married twice was me. Because listen, nobody else cares. Nobody's really thinking about me as much as I thought people were thinking about me. Okay. And so now I can own it and stand in it and really just release it, to be perfectly honest. And here's the thing that I learned after my second marriage. And so there's this point after my second marriage, right before I went into this personal leadership and development program, and even into the program. Well, I was like, I don't know how to pick. I don't know how to pick. I ain't picking, and I ain't picking. And I ain't picking. And so I really just resolved to the fact that I was not going to be in a relationship anymore. And listen, I was okay with it. I really did not believe that I had the tools. I just did not believe that I had the tools needed to be in a relationship, and said that exact thing to coaches in this program. I was like, yeah, I don't have no tools to be in a relationship. And they were like, what are you talking about? I was like, I don't know how to do that. And so what I realized was what I needed was a willing heart. That's what I needed to be in a relationship. And now I am in the healthiest relationship that I have ever been in. And so being able to own all of the pieces of my past really allows me to even have a conversation about it on this podcast. Because here's the thing, I could have just not mentioned it and still been fine and okay. But what I realize is, even every part of my past is a part of my past. And when I don't acknowledge it or own it, I'm teetering between shame and unworthiness. Now here's the other thing. It's not like I have to like blast it to the world, even though in a sense I'm kind of blasting it to the world. But it's this is a part of my healing process, is me knowing that if I'm not judging me for being married twice, other people are not able to judge me. And it all starts with me being clear on my insides, my journey, that it's all a part of me. And here's the thing, when I am able to live from the inside out, it really allows me to be more grounded. It allows me to be truer to the person that I really am. It allows me to not be swayed by what people think. It allows me to really like embrace this unique journey that I am on that doesn't look like the journey of anyone else. There was a time where I stood on the outside of my story and hustled for my worthiness, which is the second part of Brene's quote. I'm standing on the outside of me. I'm looking at me from the outside, which, let me tell you, listen, when I tell you this thing of perfection had its hold on me, I mean, just, it was, I was captivated. I was, I mean, almost every move that I made, it was around what somebody was going to think or what somebody was going to say. It didn't have anything to do with what I thought or what I said. It was all from the outside. And so when she talks about hustling, it was a lot of work. It was a lot of hustling. It was a lot of pretending. It was a lot of, you name it. It was a lot of that. And I can remember having a conversation with one of my faculty, and she asked me one question that literally brought me to my knees. And it was, aren't you exhausted? And I was like, yeah. Living from the outside in is, I was exhausted. It's like I was doing this dance all the time. What are they going to say? What are they going to think? What are they going to say? What are they going to think? What are they going to say? What are they going to think? Constantly. You know, I'm a comedian. I was doing this dance and I was literally exhausted from it. But that question really set me on this journey of unraveling that and learning, what did I like? What was important to me? What did I want to do? And it was a journey. And I've talked about this before, how I remember I got this card in at IBISD about integrity. And I was like, what do you mean? I got integrity? I say, I don't steal this, I had this whole, attitude, my neck was moving. And she was like, no, integrity with yourself. And I was like, because I did not have any integrity with me. I did not keep any of the promises that I made to myself. I did not trust any of the decisions that I made. I did not have any. Now, if I made you a promise, if I told you that I was going to be somewhere, this, that, and the other, I was there. But myself, I didn't have that. I didn't have any integrity with me. And so that started the process of me really learning to keep the promises that I make to myself, because I am the most important person in my life. Me. Not my son, not my fiance, me. I'm the most important person in my life. And it was really one of my greatest gifts. It was really one of my greatest gifts. Here's what integrity is in a like fun, playful way. You know how we go to the hairdresser, you look at their hair to see if their hair is done, or if you're gonna have a trainer, a physical trainer, you like, how they look? They got a gut, but like, do they have muscle? Like, what they got them shoulders. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like if I make a promise to myself that I'm going to iron my clothes and get them prepared for the week and I don't do it, I don't have any integrity with myself. And for a lot of us, that would be a great place to start. It's just keeping the promises that you make to you. Let's just start right there. So if you say you're going to drink 2 glasses of water today, drink 2 glasses of water. Even if you're in bed and it's 10:30 and you're like, don't say, I'll drink it tomorrow. No, you got to get up out of your bed, go downstairs or in the kitchen and drink a glass or 2, however many you promised yourself. You got to go do that, because it's important that you keep the promises that you make to yourself. That allows you to live from the inside out, because you are the most important person in your life. So the quote from Brene Brown: either walk inside your story and own it, or stand outside your story and hustle for worthiness. That is the quote for today. Listen, I hope y'all cannot hear my dog barking. Lily is barking up a storm. If you do, please forgive me. So hey, let me get my coaching hat so I can give you a little tidbit. All right, so let's go to the coaching corner. Do you see how authentic I am? Listen, in the past, I would have stopped the video because Lily was barking and started all over again. But I'm not doing that. You know why? Because I'm going to honor my time. I'm going to be who I am. I'm going to release this thing of perfection that I have had in the past. And so y'all just may have heard Lily barking. She's beautiful and amazing, and I love her. Okay, so let's talk about this coaching corner, and just one thing that you can do that can increase, that can cultivate worthiness. Think of one thing that you do that you really don't want to do, and don't do it. Think of one thing. Now let's start. Let's start small. Let's start small. Okay. Let's say if somebody asks you to go out to dinner and you really don't want to go, let's not go straight to I'm gonna quit my job. I mean, you can, but let's be gentle with ourselves. Let's just start with something small. What is one thing that you really don't want to do that in the past maybe you've done it just to make people happy, or you wanted to be nice, and then just don't do that. Just one thing. Just start small. And listen, have y'all signed up for my self-kindness texting service? Listen, it will support you in being kind to yourself. Anyway, that's my commercial. So this is my theme song. I hope y'all have a beautiful week. Love y'all.
And with the quote, we create kind humans who speak kindness, show kindness, be a kind human. Be a kind human.